Mi primer sueño es jugar en el Mundial y el segundo es salir campeón.
Before Lionel Messi. Before Cristiano Ronaldo. Before football became a global business, there was one man who made the impossible look ordinary. A boy born in poverty, who carried an entire nation on his shoulders. A footballer whose left foot became a symbol of hope, whose genius inspired millions, yet whose life was filled with triumph, controversy, and tragedy. Some called him a hero, others called him a rebel. But the football world knew him by one name, Diego Armando Maradona.
Salir campeón de octava y los que siguen el campeonato.
Diego Armando Maradona was born on October 30th, 1960, in Villa Fiorito, one of the poorest neighborhoods on the outskirts of Buenos Aires, Argentina. His family struggled every single day. Food was limited, money was almost non-existent. But there was one thing Diego always had, a football. At just 3 years old, he received his first ball. From that moment, he barely let it leave his feet. While other children played games, Diego dreamed of escaping poverty through football. Every empty street became his stadium. Every match became another chance to prove himself. His extraordinary control amazed everyone who watched him. Even as a child, people whispered, "This boy is different." At just 15 years old, Diego made his professional debut for Argentinos juniors. Most teenagers were still dreaming. Diego was already dazzling defenders. His balance, vision, creativity, and fearless dribbling made him one of Argentina's biggest attractions. Crowds filled stadiums just to watch the teenage sensation. Every match brought new headlines. Every goal strengthened the belief that football had discovered its next superstar. But Diego had one dream above all others, to wear the blue and yellow of Boca Juniors. In 1981, that dream became reality. Diego joined Boca Juniors, Argentina's most passionate football club. Every match at La Bombonera felt like a festival. Diego quickly became the fans' hero. With breathtaking goals, incredible assists, and fearless performances, he helped Boca win the league title. But Europe had already noticed the biggest clubs wanted him, and soon one of football's giants came calling. In 1982, Barcelona signed Diego Maradona for what was then a world record transfer fee. The football world expected greatness. Every touch, every dribble, every match became headline news. But Spain wasn't the fairy tale Diego had imagined. Illness slowed him down. A brutal tackle shattered his ankle. And pressure from the media grew with every passing week. Then came one of football's most infamous moments. During the 1984 Copa del Rey final, a violent brawl erupted between Barcelona and Athletic Bilbao. Diego was at the center of the chaos. It marked the end of his time in Spain. Many believed his best years were already behind him. They couldn't have been more wrong, because a city in southern Italy, was about to embrace him like no footballer had ever been embraced before. In 1984, Diego Maradona arrived in Naples. At the time, Napoli was not a football giant. They had never won the Italian league. Northern clubs dominated Italian football. The people of Naples felt ignored, looked down upon, forgotten. But everything changed the day Diego arrived. More than 70,000 fans packed the stadium just to welcome him. They didn't just sign a football player, they found a symbol of hope. Week after week, Diego performed miracles. Impossible dribbles, magical passes, stunning free kicks. One by one, the impossible became reality. In 1987, Napoli won their very first Serie A title. The city erupted in celebration, church bells rang. Streets filled with singing fans, murals of Diego covered the walls of Naples. He wasn't simply a footballer anymore, he had become a king. Under his leadership, Napoli would win another Serie A title, a Coppa Italia, a UEFA Cup, and forever change Italian football. But while Naples adored him, the world would soon witness the greatest tournament of Diego Maradona's life, the 1986 FIFA World Cup in Mexico. Argentina entered the tournament with hope, but they also carried enormous pressure. Their captain carried even more. Diego wasn't just expected to play, he was expected to lead. Then came the quarterfinal against England. Just 4 years earlier, Argentina and the United Kingdom had fought the Falklands War. For many Argentinians, this match meant far more than football. In the 51st minute, Diego jumped with goalkeeper Peter Shilton. The ball crossed the line. Replays showed Diego had used his hand. He later described it as a little with the head of Maradona and a little with the hand of God. The goal remains one of football's most controversial moments. But only 4 minutes later, Diego produced something unforgettable. He collected the ball inside his own half, beat one defender, then another, then another. 5 English players couldn't stop him. Before calmly finishing past the goalkeeper, FIFA later named it the goal of the century. Argentina advanced. Diego continued inspiring his teammates. Against Belgium, he scored twice. In the final, Argentina defeated West Germany 3-2. As Diego lifted the World Cup, he completed one of the greatest individual performances in football history. He hadn't simply won a trophy, he had carried an entire nation to glory. Success made Diego immortal, but fame also brought unimaginable pressure. Expectations grew heavier. Every mistake became front-page news. His personal life became increasingly complicated. He struggled with addiction and off-the-field problems that affected both his health and career. In 1991, he received a suspension after failing a drug test. Years later, during the 1994 FIFA World Cup, another failed test ended his final World Cup journey. The image of Diego being escorted away from the pitch became one of football's saddest moments. The genius who had once conquered the world was now fighting battles far from the football field. Yet despite his struggles, millions never stopped loving him. Diego Maradona retired from football, but legends never truly leave the game. Across Argentina, across Naples, across every corner of the football world, his name still inspires generations. Stadiums display his image, streets carry his murals. Children still imitate his dribbles. Even after his passing in 2020, the world stopped to honor one extraordinary man. When Argentina lifted the FIFA World Cup in 2022, many believed Diego was smiling from above. Lionel Messi dedicated the triumph to the football legend who inspired his nation long before him. Diego Maradona's life was imperfect. He made mistakes. He faced challenges. But when football speaks of magic, of courage, of impossible dreams becoming reality, one name will always be remembered. Diego Armando Maradona, the boy from Villa Fiorito, the king of Naples, the hero of Argentina, a football genius whose story will live forever. If you enjoyed this journey through the life of Diego Maradona, subscribe to Goal Chronicles for more cinematic football documentaries, legendary stories, and the unforgettable moments that shaped the beautiful game, because every legend has a story, and we're here to tell it.